Please like this video. It will really help this story reach as many people as possible. Thank you so much for your support. She stood in the hallway with a suitcase, wheels grazing the baseboard like she didn't plan on rolling them back. Late evening, dishes drying on the rack, cartoons still paused on the living room TV. She wouldn't look at me. "Where are you going?" I asked from the doorway, palms dry, voice steady because I've run a shop through hailstorms and tax audits. A suitcase isn't a storm. It's a decision. "I'm tired," she answered, eyes on the deadbolt as if it offended her. "I can't breathe here. This life, it isn't for me. Small house, noise, the same every day. This is our house and our kids." She shifted, tried to slide past. I didn't move. "You're standing in the way, Mark." "I'm standing in front of our 15-year-old and our 6-year-old, I replied. "Ava's homework is on the table. Noah's spaceship is on the rug. You're not walking through them like they're packing peanuts." Her jaw tightened. "I need air." "Then step on the porch and breathe. You don't open a parachute in the living room." She rolled her eyes. "I'm not burying myself in chores and car grease. I want quiet. A roof, a glass of wine, no kids screaming about Legos at 6 in the morning." "His name is Noah," I said. "He laughs at 6. He doesn't scream." The hallway felt narrower than usual. I could see a shadow behind me and knew who it was before she spoke. Ava stood at her bedroom door, one sock on, one sock off. "Mom." Natalie didn't turn. She pivoted to the front door, chin high, and lifted the handle. "They'll be better off without me." "You don't know that," I replied. She looked through me the way people look through a windshield sticker. Then she walked out, pulled the door closed, and let the lock click as if that was punctuation enough. Ava froze in the frame, silent. That silence broke something you don't glue back. If I'd known where it was headed, I'd have started rearranging sooner. But I learned fast. The first week was logistics. I set the coffee to start at 5:30 because Noah wakes at 6, and I had to be 2 steps ahead. I color-coded a wall calendar with a marker I found under the couch. Blue for school, green for shop hours, red for Ava's deadlines, yellow for Noah's bring-a-thing days. I cleared Natalie's side of the closet and didn't fill it with mine. I hung backpacks there. Space with a purpose. Ava didn't want to talk. Good. I didn't push. I just handed her rhythm. Rides, breakfast, the same seat at the dinner table. Noah asked every morning, "Where's Mom?" And I told him, "Traveling for a bit." Not a lie, not the whole thing. You don't hand a 6-year-old a transmission diagram. At the shop, my foreman Mario squinted at me. He's been with me 8 years, talks in short sentences, and torques specs. "You okay, boss?" House got loud and quiet at the same time. I said, checking the day's jobs. "Make sure we reorder filters. And no late pickups this week. I'm out by 4:30. "You got it." He rubbed a rag over his hands. "You need anything?" "Yeah. Don't let me forget the school pickup line is a dictatorship. If I'm late once, they'll put me on a list." "You text me if you're tight," he said. "I'll finish the oil changes myself." I did what I always do. Fix the broken system. Morning drill turned into a clean loop. Eggs, lunch boxes, car line, shop, homework, bath, story, lights out. I stopped pretending evenings were us time. They were kid time, and it was fine. 2 weeks in, I started the new rule set. Not for Natalie. For me. No guessing at her. No calling into the void. If she reached out to the kids directly, I'd facilitate. If she didn't, I wouldn't chase. That wasn't punishment. It was gravity. A month in, Ava's math teacher pulled me aside after parent night. "Mrs. Carter, organized, eyes that miss nothing." "She's steady," she said. "Quiet, but steady." "Quiet's okay. She doesn't need pep talks," Mrs. Carter said. "She needs a track to run on. Whatever you're doing, keep it up." Noah taped 2 paper fins to a cereal box and called it a rocket. I hot glued the third. "Cool?" he asked. "Very. We'll add launch music. Can we count down?" "You kidding?" "All the way from 20. He beamed. It was a good beam. The house felt like a shop after closing. Tools back in the right drawers, floor clean. Months rolled. No calls, no door knocks. A ping once. An unfamiliar number. 3 words. "I need time." I didn't reply. Not because I was angry. Because it didn't ask a question that had an answer. The first green shoot didn't come from her. It came from Brooke. You know Brooke. Or you know her type. Old friend of Natalie's from college. Lives 10 minutes out. Nurse. Practical. We crossed paths at a school fundraiser years back. She was always the one who brought the brownies that disappeared before the speeches. One Saturday, she pulled into the driveway, two foil-covered trays balanced like she was smuggling state secrets. She waited at the threshold. "Is this okay?" "It's a door, Brooke," I said. "I'll open it if you're holding brownies." She smiled, a little wary, like I might bite. "I heard you're in the deep end. I'm here for the kids. If you don't want company, I can drop and run." "Come in," I told her. No ceremony. She handed Noah a tray. "Handle with care, Commander." He saluted and ran to the kitchen yelling about chocolate planets. Ava leaned around the fridge, eyes narrowed. "Relax," Brooke told her. "I'm not here to interview for a title. I'm here because third graders never own enough glue sticks." Ava's mouth twitched. "We have glue." "Then I'll bring glitter," Brooke said. "You can hate me for it later." The first time she helped Noah cut out stars, she didn't overstep. The first time she sat with Ava on the porch, she didn't ask pointed questions. She just listened while Ava stared at the sky and ranted about late buses and cafeteria rules. Brooke put her tea on our shelf and didn't label it. She left a laundry basket in the guest room and didn't announce it. Presence over performance. The house, which had felt like a pressure cooker on low, clicked into normal. By month 9, I did the paperwork. Not a war. A form with facts. I asked for custody and formalized the house as the kids' stable address. Judge Patel presided. Calm, clipped sentences, a woman who reads faster than I can speak. She looked at the timeline and the absence and gave me a nod you don't misread. Full custody to me. Visitation for Natalie if and when she took part consistently. I walked out, not triumphant, just confirmed. The system had a label for what we were already living. A year slid by. Haircuts, school projects, break jobs. The kids learned my version of pancakes. Brooke learned where we keep the screwdriver that tightens the cabinet hinge. I learned I could sleep 8 hours without waiting for a door latch at midnight. Then my phone buzzed. Natalie. The number, not a new one. No call. A text, rested. Ready to be a wife again. I didn't answer. If there's one thing the shop taught me, it's that not every noise needs attention. The next day, she came through the front door like she'd been at the mailbox. No knock. No heads up. Brooke was on the rug with Noah, lining up plastic thrusters on a cardboard hull. Tape. Markers, a measuring tape from my toolbox. Noah looked up, grinned at Natalie, then looked at me to see which way the wind blew. Let me pause the story for just a second. If you're still listening, please hit the like button on this video. It really helps YouTube show this story to more people. Thank you so much for the support. Now let's get back to the story. Natalie stood in the center of the living room, eyes sweeping like a realtor. "What is this?" "A living room," I said. "My house." She turned to the hallway where the backpacks hung. "My son." "Careful," I told her quietly. "You left a year ago and haven't been back. Words have to match facts." She stared at Brooke. "You're in my home on my floor with my kid." Brooke didn't stand. She didn't retreat either. She looked at me, face neutral. Ava came down halfway on the stairs and stopped there with her hand on the rail like it was a handle on the present. Natalie jabbed a finger at me. "You moved someone in?" "Nobody moved in," I answered. "People came through the front door, introduced themselves, and helped with glue projects. Big difference." She scoffed. "You replaced me." "You replaced yourself the night you wheeled that suitcase past your daughter," I said. "You made the rule. I'm enforcing it." Color rose in her cheeks. "I'm ready to be a wife now." "That's not a ready when you are job," I told her. "There are kids here who needed a parent every day. They got one." "This isn't over," she snapped and stormed out. The door slammed. Noah flinched. Brooke exhaled. Ava sat down on the step and rubbed her thumb across the edge of the rail. I picked up a stray marker cap. "New rule," I said to the room. "You don't open the door unless you check with me first. We keep the house quiet." Ava nodded. Noah went back to engines. Brooke eyed me. "You want me to step back for a bit?" "You do what you do," I replied. "Nothing here is about titles." She studied my face. "Okay." 2 days later, she tried a different entrance, my shop. That's the one place I don't like drama. Hydraulics, tires, receipts, sure. Not accusations. I was under a pickup, light clamped to the frame. Mario tapping a socket on the workbench to a rhythm only he knew. Bell over the door rang. I slid out and wiped my hands. Natalie stood near the counter, sunglasses on her head like a headline. Two of my regulars, old boys who spend half their week rotating between coffee, hardware, and my waiting chairs, glanced up from a fishing magazine. "We need to talk," she said. "You're on my clock," I told her. "So keep it short. I'm filing for joint custody." Mario stopped tapping. I set the rag down. "Parenting isn't a subscription service," I said. "You don't pause for 12 months and then hit resume." "I've got my life in order," she said, chin up. "Stability." "Great. Stability proves itself. It doesn't declare itself." She stepped closer. "You think you can gatekeep me from my kids? I think I can protect them from volatility. That's the job." "Gatekeep," she repeated, like tasting a new word. "Cute. I'm serious, Mark." "So am I answered. "You didn't text them on birthdays. You didn't show up for winter concert or spring projects. You sent one line to me. Now you want equal decision power and equal time. I'm staying on defense for them." One of the old guys grunted. "Heck of a Wednesday," he muttered. She threw a look at the seating area, then back at me. "You're making me look bad." "No," I told her. "You did that work yourself. I'm just not covering it with a new coat of paint." She smiled, a tight, PR smile. "How about we reset? Coffee somewhere. Adult conversation." There it was, the soft turn. Illusion of change, version 1. Peel the edge off, make it seem like we just got two wires crossed. I shook my head. "Line's busy. Email if you have logistics. Everything related to kids goes through the schedule we already use. No detours." "You've turned cold," she said. "I turned consistent," I replied. "It looks cold if you confuse warmth with access." She raised her chin. "We'll see what a judge says." "You'll meet a patient woman named Patel," I told her. "She will read. She will ask for facts. Bring them." She left with her shoulders back like she'd just won a private argument. Mario eyed me. "You need me to run the counter for a while?" "I'll finish this truck and then I'm gone for the day," I said. "Print the estimates." At home, Brooke avoided questions. That's something I respect. She rinsed strawberries at the sink. "Do you want me at the hearing?" "No," I said. "You're not a prop." She turned off the faucet. "Understood." That night, just before lights out, Ava stood in my doorway. "She came to the shop?" "She did." "She's going to try to take us?" Ava asked, voice level, eyes glassy but steady. "She's going to try to take control," I said. "Different thing." "If they ask me," she said, "I'm telling them I'm staying with you." "That's your choice," I replied. "And it matters." She nodded. "Okay." The hearing didn't need theatrics. Her attorney spoke about restored stability and openness to co-parenting. The record said the other thing. 14 months, 0 consistent contact, 1 text to me, 1 unannounced entrance to the house. Judge Patel asked 3 questions and then looked at us the way a mechanic looks at a blown seal. "You can't unsee the leak. Mr. Dalton has provided a stable environment," she said. "Full custody remains. Visitation subject to demonstrated consistency." Ava asked to speak. She didn't look at me or her mother. She looked at the judge. "He didn't leave," she said. "For words. That was all. It did what 10 minutes of argument wouldn't." Brooke wasn't in the courtroom. She didn't need to be. Her name was in the material as part of the support system, the way you list who can pick up the kids if the main driver is delayed. No spotlight, no drama. Natalie cried in the corridor afterward. I didn't gloat and I didn't hug. She approached that evening with a paper bag of old stuffed animals, photos, a sweater Noah used to chew the sleeve of. "I'm sorry," she said at the threshold. I was overwhelmed. I thought I was drowning. I held the door. "Thank you for the apology. I want to make amends," she added. "Good," I replied. "That means showing up on time, the same way, many times. You don't need my permission to be consistent. You need your own." She nodded. No demands. No promises. Then she left. Noah didn't run to the door. Ava stayed at the table, pencil moving. The house kept its beat. That was the kill turn for me. Not the judge's words, but the calculus that followed. The respect I had kept on credit was paid off and closed. I wasn't hostile. I was done renting out peace. 1 week after the corridor apology, Brooke brought over a basket with folded towels. "Ava has a friend sleeping over," she said. "You'll run out of clean ones." She set the basket in the guest room like she'd lived here for years. She hadn't. She didn't need to. Presence is math. Small, steady numbers win. We ate pancakes on Sunday. I fixed a squeaky cabinet door. Noah counted down launches from 30 because 20 had gotten easy. The house sounded like a family doing chores. Good noise. Natalie tried her second soft turn 2 weeks later. She texted, "Can I take Noah to the park Saturday? Just the two of us. I'll bring lunch." I stared at the screen. It was almost right. But just the two of us was a bypass of the system the judge had just clarified. I called her. First call between us in months. "Park time is fine," I said. "You'll pick him up here at 10. I'll meet you at the park at 10:15. 30 minutes the first time." "That's insulting," she said. "That's a boundary," I answered. "You test engines, not kids." "I'll be sweet with him," she said. There it was, soft turn number 2. Overshoot the warmth. Sell the idea that affection equals safety. "Be present," I said. "That's enough." Saturday came. She was 5 minutes late, but she did show up. Noah hugged her, stiff at first, then looser. She brought apple slices and a kite that didn't fly because there was no wind. She laughed a little, and he tried anyway. I watched from a bench, just another parent scanning a soccer field full of kids with mismatched socks. 30 minutes. No speeches. She thanked me after, no bite on the words. Then she vanished for 3 weeks. There's your consistency. During those 3 weeks, I ran my one big initiative on outside turf. Not the shop, the school. I asked for a meeting with the counselor, Ms. Dean, sharp, all business, a binder for everything. "Here's the situation," I said. "I'm not here to make you staff for our house. I'm here to lay out a protocol. If anyone besides me or Brooke comes to check the kids out, call me first. Even if their last name is Dalton. Even if they claim emergency. I'll be 5 minutes away. You call me. You delay, and you let them be mad at me." Ms. Dean nodded. "We can do that. I'm saying it now," I continued. "Because I don't need a scene in your lobby. You don't need it either." "Appreciate it," she said. "We like boring lobbies." "Me too," I told her. "I build boring systems." "Your daughter's competent," she added. "She asked for this meeting to happen." I raised an eyebrow. Ava did. She asked, "Can we set guardrails so we don't have hallway drama?" Ms. Dean said, almost smiling. 10 out of 10 question. "That's my kid," I said. It made my day better than a clean balance sheet. Ava kept her balance. Noah kept being 6 going on storm. Brooke bought a cheap label maker and never used it on people, only on clear bins where markers went to die. We made hot chocolate on Friday nights. I set a chair outside the bathroom while Noah splashed and made him think I was guarding the door against pirates. Ava brought a paper home with a teacher note that said, "Excellent clarity." I taped it inside the pantry door. "Some trophies are for you, not the room." Then Natalie showed up at the house again, 0 notice, a Wednesday. She didn't ring. She knocked twice and walked in. She caught Brooke and Noah on the floor again, this time building a cardboard city because the rocket had gotten too many repairs to live. Natalie froze, then launched. "What is this?" she demanded. "Family night." In my living room. Brooke waited for me, eyes on mine, hands off the tape. Ava was at the table with a Chromebook, earbuds in, but not playing anything. She watched. "This is our routine," I replied. "And we're in the groove. Don't break it." "You froze me out," Natalie snapped. "You turned my kids against me, and her." She jerked her chin at Brooke. "You made her mom." "Nobody elected anyone," I said. "You want to be in the room? There are rules. You ask before you show up. You pick the window we agree to, you stick to it, you stack those windows for months. After that, we talk about more. That's the sequence. Not a speech. A schedule." "I'm their mother," she shot back. "And that role is a job," I answered. "Not a password." She went for the oldest trick. Raise the voice and hope the walls push me back. "You can't lock me out of my life." "You left your life?" I said. "I just changed the locks after you did." Her eyes flashed. "I'm not done." "I am," I replied and pointed to the door. "Today's not your time. Goodbye." She looked at Brooke, then at Ava. Ava didn't flinch. Natalie left without another word. The door clicked. Noah held up a paper streetlight. "Can we tape this here?" "Right there," I said. "Perfect." I won't pretend any of this felt heroic. It felt like replacing the same faulty gasket and finally choosing a better part. 2 weeks passed. She filed again, tried again, argued stability regained like it was a coupon. The second hearing went like the first. The facts didn't change. That was the point. Ava spoke again, a little longer this time, still calm. "I have chores," she said. "I have a ride to band." I have a bedtime. It's not fancy. It's consistent. Judge Patel nodded, made a note, and closed the file. No changes. That's the day any remaining debt in my head cleared. I owed Natalie nothing besides basic decency. That I can afford. After the second hearing, Natalie drifted to the corridor, sat with the paper bag of memories again. She found the sweater Noah used to chew. She squeezed it, then put it back like it burned. I'm sorry, she said again, softer this time. I shouldn't have left the way I did. I accept the apology, I told her. Can we start over? She asked, voice small, very nearly convincing. You can start your relationship with the kids, I replied. It won't be here at the house. And it won't be fast. When you've shown up long enough for them to look forward to it without bracing, we'll talk. Until then, this door stays on my schedule. She nodded. Part of her wanted to argue. The rest realized the window was gone. She left me with the bag. I put it in the garage storage, not in the trash, not on a shrine. I didn't break Ava with talks. I did not open the topic like a lab frog. I gave her steps to climb. She climbed them. Brooke adjusted with me. She didn't try to be an upgrade. She was just present. Her tea lived on our shelf. Her book ended up on the arm of the couch. She paid for her own things and paid attention to ours. She installed a small wicker basket in the guest room for laundry. It stayed. No announcement. Neighbors noticed the shift. Frank across the street, retired HVAC, stops by when he sees me working on the truck out front. Let me pause the story for just a second. If you're still listening, please hit the like button on this video. It really helps YouTube show this story to more people. Thank you so much for the support. Now let's get back to the story. You look lighter, he said one morning, coffee in hand. Weight distribution, I told him. Moved it to the axles that can handle it. You always did like a good alignment, he said. No point fighting the pull, I replied. Brooke laughed from the porch. You two need a hobby that isn't metaphors about cars. We don't do metaphors, Frank said. We do analogies that smell like oil. Life in the shop got more efficient. Mario took more lead. I trained a kid from the tech college. Jamal, hands steady, questions smart. You run a tight place, Jamal told me, holding a caliper. I run it like a dad, I said. Schedule is king. Order is queen. You married? He asked out of habit. Divorced in practice, I answered. Married on paper for a bit. Paper will catch up. He nodded like he understood more than he said. Smart kid. Natalie's attempts settled into a pattern. A text every few weeks, a tentative visit that landed or didn't, a weepy apology at a distance, no sustained presence. Brooke never blocked or prowled. She made brownies and boundaries. She brought Noah to a craft store and came back with a tube labeled glow tape and made him a runway in his room that glowed at night. He lost his mind with joy. Ava rolled her eyes and secretly loved it. If I thought the story would end without one more hit, I would have been naive. Life likes an encore. She tried once more at the shop because people pick the place they think gives them leverage. She came in on a Friday near closing. The bell rang. Mario was counting the till. Jamal was sweeping. I was finishing a brake job, torque wrench clicking. Mark, we need to talk, she said, voice calmer than before. You have 2 minutes, I replied, not looking up. My lawyer says we can push for equal holidays, she said. You can push for whatever you like, I answered. The plan is stable. You want more? Show more. I got an apartment, she said quickly. 2 bedrooms. It's quiet. No street noise. That's good for you, I said. What's your plan with them? School nights? Homework? Rides? I can learn, she said. They're not volunteers in your learning curve, I told her. Her face trembled. She set her jaw. I gave up a lot for this family. You left it, I replied. You didn't give it up. Those are different verbs. She swallowed. You're cruel. I'm precise, I said. Precision feels like cruelty if you're used to soft focus. Mario pretended to rearrange belts. Jamal swept slower than humanly possible. A customer at the counter pretended to browse wiper blades he didn't need. Last chance, she said. Open the door, Mark. I installed a deadbolt, I told her, meeting her eyes. And not the kind you can open with a bobby pin. She stared for 3 seconds, then walked out. The bell rang again. Jamal muttered, man. Push broom, Mario said without looking up. That night, Brooke slid a mug of tea to me at the table. You good? Yeah, I said. I'm good. You ever feel guilty? She asked, not an accusation, just curiosity. I feel focused, I said. When I ran the shop sloppy, I didn't sleep. When I run it clean, I do. Same here. She nodded. You think I'm in the right place? You didn't force a place, I replied. You showed up where you could help. That's the right place. She reached across and squeezed my forearm once, then let go. Months later, the routine was concrete. Not glamorous. Better. Noah started spelling words without asking. Ava applied for a summer program and got it. Brooke's tea kept the spot on the shelf without anyone arguing about the shelf. We put up a small bookshelf in the hallway where the suitcase had once rolled. I assembled it with Noah holding the screws hostage until I paid him in stickers. He charged high. Worth it. One Saturday morning, I got a group text from a mutual friend who still believed life is a circle you can close with enough brunch. We're having a little reunion on the rooftop downtown. The message read, be fun to see everyone again. Natalie might drop by? No pressure. I typed, pass. We have a movie night. Brooke smirked. You hate rooftops. I hate performances, I said. Movie night is real. Animated or old action? She asked. Old action, I told her. Soundtrack is better. A week later, word came back from someone who talks too much while pretending not to. Natalie was working nights at a place with a dress code and patience for people who like to sit in silence with expensive drinks. She told someone we both knew that she was figuring things out. I hoped she was, for her sake. But our door stayed on my schedule. When she texted to take Noah to the park again, I said yes. Then no when she canceled 30 minutes before pickup with busy. I didn't rage. I didn't send a paragraph. I wrote, try again next month. She called me a wall. Fine. A wall keeps kids from falling off stairs. On a Tuesday, Noah asked, is Brooke going to be my mom? I rinsed plates. You already have a mom, I said. Brooke is Brooke. She makes pancakes with chocolate chips, he said. She does. Can she come to my school show? If she wants, I replied. We'll ask politely. He seemed satisfied. He cares about who keeps promises, not titles. Ava came in from the porch with her phone. I got into the program, she said, trying to hide the smile and failing. Good, I said. You earned it. You'll drive me there, right? She asked. I'll drive you anywhere, I answered. Just don't make me listen to your playlists. She grinned. No promises. That evening, we stuck the acceptance letter next to the pantry trophy. 2 pieces of paper inside a door that meant more to me than any invoice. The last time Natalie tried to draw a line in my house, she didn't even speak. She showed up with a set of keys. Not the old ones. New ones. She lifted them like an offering. I thought we could reset, she said. I took the keys, weighed them, and walked to the trash can. I didn't throw them away. I set them on the counter beside it. Those open something that doesn't exist anymore, I said. We built new locks. If you want in, you knock when it's your time. She looked around the kitchen like it owed her something. Then she looked at me, at Brooke clearing plates, at Ava doing homework, at Noah coloring a landing strip. She saw what she'd gone after. Status, comfort, the right to call the rhythm hers. It wasn't. She set her mouth, picked up the keys, and left. The door closed. The microwave beeped. Brooke rolled her eyes. Drama and leftovers. Leftovers when, I said. Our life after that wasn't fireworks. It was calm. The garage door that used to rattle got replaced. The kids' shoes were a mess on the mat, but they were home. Brooke's tea sat like a small flag you don't notice until it isn't there. We planted a rosemary bush in the yard because she swore nothing smells cleaner than chicken with it. She was right. We bought a used SUV with decent seats so we could do weekend drives without hearing complaints about backs and knees. I tuned it myself. It purred. I took Noah to a minor league game, and he lasted 6 innings before the popcorn defeated him. Ava learned to drive in the shop parking lot on Sundays, patient with the brake, too confident with the gas. I corrected. She rolled her eyes. We survived. Natalie faded. She posted photos somewhere online where people comment hearts and clapping hands. Not my world. I heard she bounced apartments twice. The second job didn't stick. The third did for a while. She asked for part-time every month or 2 and made it every other time. It wasn't malicious. It was a pattern. Patterns tell the truth. A year and a half after the suitcase, I stood in the doorway at night, looked down the hall where the backpacks hung instead of jackets, and felt the simplest thing, quiet that didn't need to be earned daily. Not complacency, just quiet. That's the story. There's no big speech at the end, no raised voices, no confession on a rainy street. There's me, a man who runs an honest shop, who watched someone choose air over responsibilities, who didn't chase, who didn't slam doors, who also didn't prop them open for drama. The last words I gave Natalie were the last ones she needed to hear from me. She sent a message a few weeks ago, the kind that tries to hook you with nostalgia. "Remember when we used to sit on the roof and talk about nothing?" she wrote. I typed back, "I remember fixing leaks." Then I put my phone face down, flipped a pancake, and told Noah to start the countdown from 50 because 20 was boring now. Brooke laughed, said I was a tyrant. Ava filmed half of it and threatened to post it with a caption about Dad's aerospace program. I looked at my house, ours, not mine alone, and said what I wanted to say the day that suitcase rolled by. "We don't do exits anymore," I told them, half joke, half rule. "We do routines." That's how I keep score now. Not by who came back, by who stayed. And the final thing I said to Natalie, the real full stop, I stood in the doorway to say, not angry, not smug. "You walked out on quiet terms," I told her. "I'm keeping it that way. Door closes at 9. For real." Then I closed it myself, turned the lock, and went back to the kitchen where the tea was steeping and the launch sequence was 2 numbers from 0. We hit 0 together. The rocket didn't fly. It didn't have to. It sat solid on a well-taped runway in a house that finally belonged to the people who show up. Our story has come to an end. If you've made it this far, how about subscribing to our channel? It helps us immensely. I've selected 2 other videos for you that I'm sure you'll enjoy. Feel free to click on them. I'll be waiting for you in the next story. See you soon.